Hey guys, Amica and the Boston Lobsters have gotten together to surprise a young tennis player, his name is Parker Smith, with this brand new wheelchair so he can further his tennis career and have some fun on the court. We're going to surprise him with this. Let's go check it out.
Hi, I'm Patty Genovese from Amica Insurance, and I'm happy to be here today with Vince Burks, our Senior Assistant Vice President from Amica, and also with Jan Michael Gamble from the Boston Lobsters. We are thrilled to be here to present a wheelchair to Parker Smith. Amica asked the Boston Lobsters to give us the name of an individual who they felt loved the game of tennis and was an avid player, and first and foremost, Parker's name came up. And Amica has a long-standing tradition of giving back to the community, and we're thrilled to present this chair to Parker. And now I'm going to give this to Jan Michael for him to say a few words.
Well, I'm very excited to see you playing tennis and to wanting to better your game, Parker. And on behalf of the Lobsters, I'm really excited to present you with this chair. And let's see what you got. Let's go hit some balls.
Jan Michael Gamble, one of the best players in tennis, and you're here on a big TV show and you're getting a great wheelchair. What does this mean to you?
It means a lot. Yeah, I didn't know I would come this far. I just found out about it like a week ago. That was pretty awesome. It's gonna help me move better, definitely. But very smooth.
Hi everyone, we're here with James Blake, a marquee player in World Team Tennis, a star from Harvard University. Boston loves you and you're playing for the Lobsters. Really an amazing time in World Team Tennis.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I played my college tennis up there, so play some more, another team event up there, and it's a unique experience. You don't get too many opportunities to play as a team in an individual sport like this. So I had a great time playing college tennis, and I've had such a good time playing World Team Tennis as well.
And competition is really what everyone's talking about in World Team Tennis. We see people like McEnroe throwing fists out there. It almost looks like, not quite, but it's definitely intense. Talk about the competition.
Yeah, well, I think McEnroe could be intense doing anything, so that's no change. But we all do get pretty excited about it, and it's so different because you want to win for your team. And out here, you're on a normal tour, you're alone, and team tennis, you got your team right there, and you want to win for someone else. It makes it a little more intense.
And just in general, what do you think fans get from going to World Team Tennis? What's the experience all about?
Well, I think they get just a really great experience as opposed to coming out on the main tour where you got to be quiet, you got to know the rules. And for team tennis, they let you be loud, they let you be crazy. It's a great place to bring your kids because the atmosphere is one where they can have fun. They can just cheer for their home team, cheer for the players. And on the normal tour, you don't really have a home team, but when you're in Boston, you want to cheer for the Lobsters. So it makes it for a lot of fun.
And you're one of the great players in the world. How does World Team Tennis help you keep your game on top of the world?
Well, I think it puts pressure on almost every point because every game counts, every point counts, and it's a way to make yourself focus right out of the gate. You can't kind of ease your way into a match. You got to be ready from point one. So I think it's a great thing. It helped me when I played the full season when I was starting my career, and I really think it made a big difference.
And my final question on the community, you're also giving back to the community, so how does that help you knowing that you're helping others as well as yourself?
Well, I think it's something that we're all given a voice when we're put in this position, and it's just a matter of how we use it. And I try to use it for a positive influence, and that's what really means a lot to me. And it's something that my parents kind of instilled in me from a young age. So I hope in any way I can help, I do my best.
James Blake, have a great time in Boston with the Lobsters.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Well, welcome back here to this Boston Lobsters broadcast presented by Amica Insurance. We just heard from your good friend or old colleague James Blake, and he's still out there battling on the tour, and he's also back, a Harvard guy, so fan favorite. What do you think about James being back with your team?
I think James is a huge asset to having him here in Boston. Obviously, he has a huge following in Boston, and being a local guy and going to school here. So it's fantastic. He's always been a wonderful ambassador of the sport, and he's always been a good guy.
And I know you're a really hard worker out there. You were such a grinder, and James also is a grinder, and he came back from many setbacks to get to #4 in the world. So talk about his game on the court.
Well, like you said, James is a grinder. He goes out there and he never gives up. He's always figuring out a way to win, putting one more ball on the court, and he has always used the crowd very well. Something that when I was playing well, I kind of fed off that crowd energy. He's used the crowd in venues that he plays well at. You know, like for example, the U.S. Open with his what is it, the J block?
The J block. And that's the Jan Michael block too.
Yeah, but. You can use that, and I think that we have really good crowds here, and so that helps me. I know it'll help James.
And experience as well. I mean, you've been in World Team Tennis for many years, and James is a very experienced player. What does experience have to do with succeeding in World Team Tennis? You know, because it is a little unique. You have people yelling during the matches, fans screaming. Boston, there's a lot of pressure to play in one of the best sports markets in the world. Tell me about how experience can help you guys.
Well, experience helps a ton in team tennis because, well, first of all, you're playing on a colored court, which, of course, you forget. But the first time you play on it, that first match, it's a little weird. So even just walking out, if you hadn't done it, that's kind of bizarre. The crowds are able to do what they want. You know, you have people talking, which I love. I've always wanted tennis to be more like that in certain venues, not at Wimbledon, but in certain venues. I think it would be more fun.
And last year you guys lost to New York, your arch rival. So that was really a classic battle. New York versus Boston in the playoffs. I mean, you have Jesse Witten, John McEnroe, Ricardo Mello, Kim Clijsters is on that team. New York is out for blood when they take on the Lobsters. So let's talk about that classic rivalry and what it's going to take to beat them again, or to try to beat them again.
Well, I think that they will be a tough team, and especially with Kim on the team. But, you know, you go into any team tennis match kind of with that question mark is, you know, how well is everybody going to perform today? You know, what kind of that's what makes it kind of magical. Is it's not just am I ready to play today, which on a given day I'm going to play better than I will on another day, right? I mean, even going into Wimbledon, it's like, what can I make myself? How can I be the best player I can be today? In team tennis, you have to do that every day. Plus, you have 4 or 5 other people on your team, plus the crowd, plus all this other things that can go on, which it's really kind of, I don't know, but we can get fired up for New York for sure.
Well, speaking of experienced people, Bud Schultz back for another year coaching, a great player. Let's hear what Bud has to say about the upcoming year.
Well, it's exciting because you have a shot going in. Last year there were some moments during the season where we weren't playing our best, but when push came to shove midway through the season, everyone came together and we made a heck of a run the last 8 matches of the season. And it's so short and it's so intense. You need a group of people that are going to show up every night. And it's not high, low. It's showing up every night, just ready to go.
Well, no question, John McEnroe is ready to try to make the finals again. But what's it going to take for you guys to dethrone them and also Kansas City?
Well, I think consistency throughout the year. I think we certainly have the firepower to do it. I think injuries oftentimes play a role given the shortness of the season. But as I alluded to earlier, it's about a core group of people that know how to be pros and can show up 14 times in 18 nights, with all the travel included. So it takes maturity. It takes a group of people that like each other and are willing to support each other, and then physically show up on a regular basis.
Bud Schultz was a top player in the world as a player and also one of the best coaches. He's coaching Eric Buderak and also the Lobsters. So how has he been able to help you guys?
Bud is a great guy. He's become a good friend. This will be his 3rd year with the Lobsters, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing him again and being around him. He's a very easygoing individual, but you just look in those eyes, you know how bad he wants us to win, and he's willing to do it. He's willing to put the extra effort off the court, If I need him to do ball drills with me, which I need, he's out there doing that. He's on the court with all of us individually, if that need be, as a team. He's a team player, but he also understands that tennis is, at times, it has very selfish needs. For a player to play well, you need to put that work in on the court, and I'll be here early, several days early, getting ready for the season. So hopefully he'll want to come out with me and put the time in. I don't want to go and have like a huge long conversation with somebody. He gets that, you know, and he tailors himself. That's what a good coach does. They tailor himself to the player's needs, and he does that very well.
The new Joan Norton Ferncroft Country Club Stadium, a beautiful place for tennis, and Joan's done so much for the game. I know she's an old friend of yours. Tell me about what it's like to play there. I think it might be the nicest place in World Team Tennis with that atmosphere and the intimate crowd. So how do you like playing at home?
I think our home court is fantastic. I once again have to bring up our food. We have the best food. Players come there and say, "Wow, I wish we had this good of a setup." We have a place to get away. It's a very intimate crowd, like you said before. The fans are coming back every year, appreciating it. We're having a lot more people saying how nice of a venue it is, and it just improves every year. The practice facilities are everything we need. We have a weight room. It's great.
And being a professional athlete in Boston, you have the Red Sox, you have the Celtics, the Patriots, some of the most storied franchises in all of sports. A lot of pressure, though. These fans mean business. What's it like being a pro athlete out of Boston?
Well, I think that we're trying to create a few of our own stories here in Boston through the tennis, through the team tennis, and I think that's important to us. Bringing something a little different from the baseball and all that, and maybe we'll have a few stories to tell.
Well, much more coming up here on this Boston Lobsters broadcast presented by Amica Insurance. Stick around. We'll be right back after these brief messages. Here with the Senior Assistant Vice President of Amica, Vince Burks. Another amazing year of Boston Lobsters tennis and Amica helping to make it possible. Talk about this new partnership you have.
We've been with the Boston Lobsters for 3 years now, and it is a great partnership for us. We love the Lobsters. We love the tennis community. We seem to do really well with tennis fans. They appreciate our product. They appreciate our customer service. And you can come see a great event, and you get to know the Amica family a little bit better, too. You know, you've got Jen, Michael, you've got the other members of the Lobsters. They bring in marquee players, but also their community outreach. That's very important to us when we look at an organization. They're very involved in the community, and because they make a difference in the community and they're good corporate citizens, that's very important to us.
And any final comments on Amica and some of your initiatives right now? What else is going on?
We do a lot of healthy living events. We have a triathlon series. We have a marathon. We are also involved with the arts, with culture. So it's very important to us to be a good corporate citizen and to give back. So yeah, we're very involved.
Well, Vince Burks, thank you for joining us. Congratulations on this great partnership. Amica and the Boston Lobsters joining forces here in Boston. Much more coming up on the broadcast. We'll be right back after this.